Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Lori Diamond, Vice President of Business Development at Defense One. It's my pleasure to continue our discussion today with a conversation with one of our underwriters, Megan Good, Vice President and Director of Cyber Accelerator, and Bill Brennan, Vice President of Cybersecurity and Risk Management, both valued employees at Leidos. Megan, Bill, and I will build on themes of today's conversation and take a closer look at how Leidos is making advancements in the cybersecurity and compliance space. Megan and Bill, thanks for being here.
My
Thanks for
pleasure.
having us.
So let's start with you, Megan. Can you share with us some details on your current role and background?
Absolutely. So, in my current role at Leidos, I'm part of our Office of Technology. And as the director of our Cyber Accelerator, it's where we're really driving our research and development activities and the new solutions that we're building in partnership with great technology partners that we have externally, as well as our teams internally, and how we're really addressing cyber challenges that our customers have across defense and intelligence, across our civilian agencies and commercial markets, and then with our healthcare customers as well. We're pulling in, what are those core challenges that everybody is experiencing today as global cyber threats continue to evolve? And what are those technology solutions that we need to integrate into what we're delivering to them today to help address those challenges and move us forward? With my role, it really is a lot of bringing back through my experience in defense and intelligence around cyberspace operations and cyber threat intelligence, as well as coupling it with the rest of my team who has experiences across the board where we're really looking over that edge and trying to deliver cutting edge cyber solutions.
Fascinating. So Bill, can you share with us a little bit about your role on the team and your background?
Yep, absolutely. So in my role, I'm part of corporate information security. We are responsible for, within my organization, the resiliency of Leidos from cyber attack. We cover everything traditional GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. We also have an enablement organization that's focused on delivering the capabilities that we operate at corporate into our customers, into our programs, and ensuring that we're consistent in our governance everywhere.
Thank you, Bill. So without further ado, let's just jump into some questions here. So Megan, how does Leidos define beyond compliance?
So, beyond compliance, right? It's really with compliance itself there and cybersecurity compliance in particular, what we're talking about here. There's an inordinate number of policies, of regulations, and of different frameworks that exist across all of our markets and customer spaces. And our solutions, our systems that we develop, whether that be software or hardware, or even the kind of services that we provide, they need to show some level of compliance or fit into that overall structure of compliance. And that means adhering to those documents and making sure there's the right kind of security controls for the right kind of data, for the right kind of uses, and really obtaining and making sure that the systems that we have the authority to operate and that they're operating in the right way. For us, what beyond compliance means is how do we do that in a more continuous manner? Is a lot of times those compliance efforts are on particular time bases. And we want to make sure that we're able to do that all the time, right? To really deliver a secure life cycle. So that could be coming through with some interesting automation and technologies, how we're pulling all this data together and how we're helping to make sure that we're getting the spirit of what those security controls are set out to do. To better secure these kinds of environments. And for us, beyond compliance also means that for the things that we build, the things that we develop, that we're really testing them like an adversary would. So using, as I said, my background in cyber threat intelligence, and also I had a great foray around commercial pen testing too. So pulling those together, how do we take that spirit with what we build internally and what we're delivering for our federal customers and make sure that the things that we're delivering would stand up to those advancing adversaries. So how do we get beyond just those frequent checks of compliance to it's all the time to live up to that spirit of cybersecurity compliance?
Bill, can you share with us what are some of the current compliance standards and what else can the government do to further excel with compliance?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for us as defense contractors, obviously we have the current DFARS, NIST 800-171 aligned compliance requirements for those doing work with the DoD. That provides us a great framework for what it takes to uplift our internal security to be able to process the sort of data that we need to process. CMMC 2.0 is coming. We've got FedRAMP on the cloud side. There are a number of different frameworks that we either operate with or are required to be compliant with, that focuses on raising the ship for all the entire defense community. For us at Leidos, I think Meghan hit it right on the head. It's about the data. It's about what are the requirements for the data? How do we ensure that we're protecting it from the first time it's conceived all the way through the time that we decommission it? And for all of industry, it's taking those standards and determining what else, right? What is my role in a shared responsibility model for cloud services, right? Not everything is delivered by everybody. Well, how do I deliver that? How do I ensure that I'm doing that consistently? And how can I be audited on how I go do that? What are my business risks? Right? Each organization, even if we're in the same industry, have different business risks. How do I align that to my cybersecurity defense goals? How do I ensure that what I have to do on the compliance side meets that? And if there are gaps there, how do I ensure that I have a plan to kind of bridge that risk to compliance gap? And that's where I live, right? It's beyond compliance to not to beat that to death, but to focus on how do I fill the additional gaps to where my goals are. In from the first time it's conceived to the time it's decommissioned, how do I continue to deliver that?
So, Bill, what does Leidos do to manage risk, and how are they innovating this year to stay ahead of threats?
Absolutely. Corporately, we have a robust, comprehensive cybersecurity risk program focused on resilience, focusing on ensuring consistent governance and risk management across our 3,000 plus programs. We've invested in our people, we optimized our processes, and we're utilizing supporting technology to ensure that we meet those corporate goals. For us, we're doing a lot in third-party risk, focusing on the folks who process our data, focusing on the software and hardware that we utilize, and focusing on the people that access our systems so that we ensure that we're able to deliver consistent, we're able to deliver resilient and safe solutions to our customers. And a lot of what we do actually overlaps with Meghan's organization, where we're taking the innovations that they're producing against the challenges that we have, in finding ways to innovate together, which has been a wonderful partnership for us. And Meghan can probably talk a little bit more about some of the things that she's doing in her area.
Yeah, I think we're a great use case ourselves, right? We certainly see our fair share of being targeted by advanced threats, again, for that data, for those kinds of systems that we develop. A lot of our efforts this year have been around, really countering these sophisticated cyber threats, are around moving to zero trust solutions. Really where zero trust is a network security strategy that's based on the assumption that your network is already breached or it will be soon. And it's really from the executive order on improving cybersecurity that came out in May of 2021. It really is a mandate for federal customers to get there by 2024 or FY 2024, excuse me. And so with that, we're building a lot of solutions that take you from where you are today to where you're going and help plan out the roadmap to do that. So it's a matter of looking at different configurations, different capabilities that we're sourcing from technology partners in this space, and then seeing what fits together, what is helping achieve across the different zero trust pillars, what kinds of capabilities you're able to do, how that could integrate, and how it fits into organizations like our own, to help with our own maturity. I think also we're looking around how we can, with zero trust, you're actually making these really granular decisions about access to data, to applications, to particular network assets, to devices, the whole nine. You're making these really, really complex decisions. And that means it's a data challenge, it's a processing challenge, it's how you start to look at that across not only a local environment, but your entire ecosystem, and how you're able to really process through that information very quickly to make those great decisions and to have visibility of them from the other side, from a security perspective, to say, was that the right decision or the wrong decision? So we've been investing a lot in how we do that processing, how we make that work, locally, but also globally, with a series of different configurations, and trying to manage all of that complexity so that it's really getting us towards that zero trust philosophy. And I think that the last thing there, I mean, that drives a lot of innovation around, artificial intelligence and machine learning to speed up some of those decisions, to actually make sure that we're learning from those decisions that we've made and that we're applying those back into our overall security configurations. And with all of that, that's keeping us very busy from a research and development perspective. But it is a lot of how we're progressing forward to make this, as we said, beyond compliant. It's that, how are we actually making sure that we're controlling those environments in the right way? We're making those great risk-based decisions that Bill was describing, and that we're doing it in a way that is it evolving and advancing our security as those threats are evolving and advancing.
So I have one last question for you, both of you. So
Okay.
how does Leidos define resiliency, and how do you help your customers achieve it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it starts with the people, right? Our workforce, whether it's our cybersecurity workforce that we've invested tremendous amounts in the last 3 or 4 years. We actually, Megan and I started this right after the merger. And we took a look at the workforce and said, hey, I think there's a lot more that we could do here. And we've really transformed the way that we manage careers. We've provided tools to help people understand the transferability of their skills, right? If I'm in this particular work role today, I'm a 70% fit for 5 others. That provides horizontal, diagonal, vertical career growth for our workforce. And we've innovated everything from all the traditional elements of HR to ensure that our workforce is getting the tools that they need, the education, the experience, and the exposure to technology, to experiences, to threats that they need to continue to grow. And we've seen tremendous success in that. We have a few wonderful partners that have been able to support our vision in that. But then there's the other side of the people, all of the Leidos employees. We've seen great impact from the education and training and awareness program that we've put in over the last 2 years. We do a weekly Cyber Coach Corner. We have a Securing for Success program that engages all 43,000 employees in the results of our phishing tests prove out the success of that, right? At the end of the day, we have 43,000 sensors on our network that can help us defend the corporation. And we very regularly see wonderful positive impact from our employees being just aware cyber defense personnel, whether they realize it or not, coming to us and saying, hey, this just doesn't look right, or this thing's not operating right. And that's incredibly helpful. So we're very lucky to have a wonderful collaborative culture, to have customers who want to support us. And then we take that same methodology and to support them. And it's been great.
Yeah, and I think even further to that, Bill, in addition to the workforce, they really are the driving force of resiliency for us and for our customers. It's our team, right? But it also has come, for what we look at with resiliency, is a lot about, and from my angle, technologist hat on, right? It's processes and technology too. It's resiliency to me, from my background with cyber operations, it's all about, how do you operate through? You know that something has happened, and like that zero trust one, where you assume breach, you already know that that's happened. So how do you move beyond it, and how do you still get the mission done? How do you get your job done through it? And so for us, that's a lot of what we've been looking at of our own, how we build software, how we build cyber physical systems. How do we detect something better? How do we move through it? How do we know that it's going to fail in a safe way? How do we know that we're still able to get the features and the kind of function done, even knowing that there might be security risks in that? So how do we move forward through it? And from a tech perspective for us, what that means is a lot of how do we ensure visibility so that we actually know that something happened? How do we have better response actions so that we're mitigating it as fast as we possibly can through automation? How do we inform those people who are making those decisions for us now too, with the right kind of tools, the right kind of process, so that they can make decisions to make sure that there's this overall resiliency as a system is operated and deployed for really critical customers of ours.
Hmm.
Um, and in the end, with all of that together, with what I think resilience really means for us is how are we outpacing and outmaneuvering in light of all of these evolving and increasingly sophisticated cyber threats. And we're the team who's motivated to do it. We're investing in it. We're excited by it, and as Bill said, we brought a team up to a level, and now it's how do we make it happen as we go out and work with our customers on their challenges.
And that's all the time we have for today. Meghan, Bill, thank you so much for joining us today. You are a fantastic team. And a very special thank you to our valued partner Leidos for their support on this event. And now here's more Cyber Defenders.